This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So yesterday we have discussed how to work with cursors, and at the end of the session, we have created one table type. Okay. So we add one database table. Let me expand this tables. So we add a database table emp underscore trigger. Emp underscore trigger. This table has got two columns. One is employee ID and what employee name, ename, and then we created what one table type. Okay, so this is a table type we have created, right? And in this table type, what are the field names? EMP ID and EMP name. In the database table, the field names are EMP ID and ename. And then what we have done, we are trying to create a procedure. In that procedure, we have declared one output parameter referring to this particular table type, and we are trying to query the data from this database table, and we are trying to store that in the output parameter. It was giving an error because the attribute names, the field names in the database table and in the table type are what different. And yesterday we created this particular table type using what UI. Now let me create the table type using what SQL console. Okay, so let us understand how to create the table using SQL console. So I'll open the SQL console. As usual, let us set the schema. Right, the schema is set. Now, what is the agenda here? We need to create the table type manually using what SQL statement. So the syntax for that is, if you see the database table, the field names are EMP ID and ename. So let me try to create the table type also with the same names. So I'll say create. There's a syntax for that. Create type. I'll give the type name something TTEMP as table. Okay, this is a syntax. Create type name as table, and as part of this table type, let me create some columns. EMP ID, ename, varchar of something 20. That's all. Okay, this is a way to create the table type using what a SQL statement. So when you execute, when I say F8, the table type got created. So if you refresh here in the procedures tab, procedures node, if you refresh, yes, the table type is created with the name what TTEMP. This is a table type which got created. Now, referring to this particular table type, I want to create a procedure with what output parameter. So I'll say create procedure. I'll give the procedure name as something read database table underscore type. Okay, I'll declare the output parameter out. I'll give the output parameter reference name as itab, and I'll refer to this particular table type. What is that? TTEMP. TTEMP done as begin. As part of this my output parameter, I'll query the data from the database table and store it inside. Select start from. What is the table we are considering? EMP underscore trigger, which has got two columns, EMP ID and ename. EMP underscore trigger end. So yesterday, when we are referring to what TT underscore EMP, I just changed it. Yesterday we are referring to this TT underscore EMP table type. Here the column names are EMP ID and EMP name. So it was giving error because in the table the column names are EMP ID and ename. So once again, if I execute this, I'm expecting what syntax error. When I say F8, yeah, I got an error. The attribute name is what different. Okay, so what is the adjustment I need to do now? I need to refer to the table type which is having the same structure. When I say same structure, the field names and the data types also should be what? Same. So I'm referring to TTMP now, execute. Done. The procedure is what? Created. Okay, so as usual, I'll call the procedure, call read database table underscore type. It has got one output parameter, so we need to bind it. So I'm using this placeholder F8. I got the result from that particular table. So what we have understood is how to create the table type using UI and using what SQL console. Generally, these table types are used for what? Referring to the parameters in the procedure which would return the table results. I repeat, we generally use table type. We generally use table type, or generally we create the table type for referring them inside the procedure parameters which returns what table result. So this is nothing but a table result. So here my output parameter is referring to a table type in which I create my own structure. Done. So based on this table type, let us see some more examples. In that example, what we are going to discuss, we are going to do what some transformations. I mean to say some conversions kind of thing. Okay, so let's understand how to do it. One second. Okay, so let me create the table. So I want to create the table which contains some decimal data types and some date data types, something like that. So let me quickly create that. Create column table. I'll give the table name as something sales underscore data. Provide some column names. I'll say order ID. Let me take this as primary key. Then some column like name like customer first name. I'll give it as varchar of 20. Then I'll take another column customer last name varchar of 20. Sorry, varchar of 20. Then let me take some date column order date. What is the data type? Date. And then I'll take another column like price. I'll take it as something decimal. I'll say something 6 comma 2. You can I understand this decimal is similar to a packed data type. In our ABAP, we have packed data type, PACKED. Here we have what decimal data type, decimal of 6 comma 2. Then I'll say quantity. I'll take this also as something decimal of something. I'll take 11 comma 2. So 2 indicates what here? 2 decimal positions. One second. Yeah. So let me try to create this. When I execute, the table got created. Okay. Let me quickly maintain some data in this. Insert into sales underscore data. Insert into sales underscore data. Values. I'll get as something 1 comma. What is that? Customer first name. So I'll take something Srinivas. This I'll take something Kumar. And next, what is that? I have to give date. I have to give the date here. So here in ANA, the date format will be year, month, and date. YYY hyphen hyphen what? DD. Okay, something like that. So What is that? I'll give some date. I'll give 2009-01-02 date. Next, what else? I have to give the price. I'll give some price 12.5. Then what else? Quantity. I'll give the quantity as something 6.0. Done. So like this, let me insert some records. Done. These are the employee IDs. I'll change the names here. Done. I'll change the date also. Okay, done. Then I'll change these names. Okay, done. Let me change the date here. Some data I'll maintain. Okay, done. I'm just changing the data. Just give me a few minutes. How many records I took? 7 records. Let me take one more record. Done. These are the records. Yeah, I'm expecting one error. Yeah, what is the error is in the last record, if you observe, what is the price I give? 23439.5. 23439.5 I give, na? Okay. But if you see the price here, what is the decimal 6 comma 2? So it means maximum 6 places. Out of 6 places, the last two are reserved for what? Decimal. So before that decimal, I should have four values, and after the dot, I should have only maximum what two values, but here I give what something more than 5 year. I give around 5 year. So I'm expecting an error here. Let's see. I'll try to execute all of them at a time. When I say F8, good. Yeah, I'm trying to insert some 8 records. So out of 8 records, yeah, the rest of the records got inserted. Employee ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7 got executed. But if you see the eighth one here, what is the error? I got numeric overflow. The precision of the decimal value is larger than the target precision. Okay, so the what is that? Is 6 comma 2 means maximum 6 places. Out of 6, the last two are reserved for what? Decimals. Means before dot, I should have maximum 4 places, but I took what 5 here. That's why I got what error in the last record. Okay, so wantedly I gave that. So overall I'm having what 7 records. Now my requirement is, so if you summarize this, your database table contains how many columns? It contains around what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It contains what? 6 columns. It contains 6 columns. What are the columns we are having? We are having order ID. Did I get employee ID or order ID? Order ID, yeah, done. Yeah, order ID. Okay, order ID is one column. Then we have what? Customer first name. Then we have customer last name. Then we have something what? Order date. Then we have what? Price. And then I took something what? Quantity. So overall I'm having what? 6 column. Now what I want is, I want to create a procedure. Okay, I want to create a procedure, and that procedure should return me. It should return me some result, and that result, whatever the result my procedure is going to return, okay, it should contain more columns. Means it should contain what are the things I require in the return type. I require what? Order ID. Try to understand. Then I want customer name. So what is this customer name? It should be concatenation of customer first name and what? Customer last name. It should be concatenation of customer first name and customer last name. Done. Then I want what? Order date. Then from the date, I want to extract different components. Like I want to extract something what? Month number I want. Then I want month name, means month description I want. Then I want some quarter number. I want the quarter number. Then I want the year number. Then what else? I'll take some week number. Then I want to take something price anyway is there, price I want. Then I want quantity. Then I want something amount formula is, it is a product of price into quantity. Okay, amount formula is, it should be product of what? Price and quantity. And customer name formula is what? It is a concatenation of customer first name and customer last name. So what I'm trying to share is, my database table contains only 6 columns, but what I want is, I want to create a procedure, okay, which should return me these many columns. My procedure should return me these many columns. How many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Around 11 columns I want to return as a result. Okay, so I cannot create the output parameter referring to the database table, because my database table is having maximum 6 columns. So this is my requirement. So what I have to do in these cases, I need to create what? A table type. I need to create the table type, and we need to refer to this particular table type as a output parameter. So the general purpose of table type is, we generally use it in what? Procedure parameters, which returns what? Table results, which returns the table result sets. So first what I need to do, I need to create the table type with this particular structure. I can create the table type either by using UI or by using what? SQL statement. Let me do it by using SQL statement. So what is the syntax for that? For creating the table type using SQL statement, this is the syntax. Create type name as table. So here I'll say create type. What is the table name? Sales underscore data. Na? So I'll give the table type name as TT underscore sales underscore data, any name, as a table, as table. Okay, and we need to declare the columns in your expected result set structure. I want these 11 columns: order ID, customer name, order date, month number, month description, quarter number, year number, week number, price, quantity, and amount. Done. That's all. So I'll say I'll quickly create this. I'll say order ID. I'll take it as integer. Then what else I want? Customer name. Customer name. It should be the concatenation of what? Customer first name and customer last name. So I believe in the table I gave F name as varchar of 20 and the last name as varchar of 20. So based on that data type, I'll give this as varchar of 40 because I'm going to concatenate them. So maximum what? 40 I'll take. Done. Then order data area I want it. What is the date type? Date here. What else I want? Month number, month description, quarter number. Okay. So here I'll give the column name as month number only, month number. So generally this will be in what character format. So I'll say varchar of something 3, month number can be maximum about 12. So varchar of 3 I'll give. Then I'll take month description. I'll take it as what varchar of something 15. Then I want what quarter number. Quarter number. I'll take it as something varchar of something 3 or 4. Done. I don't require this quarter number. Then what I want year number and week number. So I need to what extract the year number, week number from the given date. So varchar of something 4, varchar of 4. Then I'll take another column, week number, week number. I'll take it as something varchar of 10. Done. Then I'll take another column price. Price. I'll give it as something decimal of something 8 comma 2. Decimal of 8 comma 2. Then I want quantity. I'll take this as decimal of 11 comma 2. Then what else I want? I want the amount. What is the formula for this? Price into quantity. So I'll say amount. I'll take it as something decimal of what? 12 comma something 3. That's all. So overall, how many columns I'm taking? 11, 5, 10, 11. Yeah. Okay. So this is the table type I'm creating. Let me execute this. Yeah. The table type is what created. So under procedures, if I refresh this, a table type is created with the name what? TT underscore sales underscore data. Let me close these things. Yeah. This is a table type which got created. TT underscore sales underscore data. Done. Okay. Right. So what I want now, based on this table type, I need to create the procedure. Okay, I need to create the procedure. Okay, so let me create. Acha. Okay. So far, what is the syntax I'm using for creating the procedure? Create procedure. Okay, procedure name. In the parentheses, okay, in the parentheses, we are giving the input parameters, output parameters. Okay, input parameter, output parameter. Then we are saying what? As begin so and so. But if you take the actual syntax of our procedure, it is slightly different in the sense you'll have what more options. So let me put it here. So the actual syntax for creating the procedure is create procedure, create procedure. As usual, you have to give what procedure name, then procedure name. Then in the this thing, I need to give what parameters. If any parameters are there, you can take what parameters done, and then yeah, we have an option called as language. Language followed by what language? Okay, then language done. What is else? SQL security, SQL security followed by mode, SQL security mode. What else? Default schema. Yeah, default schema followed by what? Schema name, schema name. What else? Yeah, reads SQL data, reads SQL data, reads SQL data. Then here only there is one more option, reads SQL data. Yeah, with the result view, with the result view. What is that view name? View name. That's all. That's all. Okay. Then as begin, as begin. What is this? Procedure body, and as usual, you have to use what end. Okay. So this is the actual syntax for creating the what procedure. Okay. So if you observe so far, we are not using what the language addition. We are not using this SQL security mode. We are not specifying the schema. We are not using this option reads SQL data. Okay, we'll be understanding all these things going forward. So as of now, I want to use some options related to this. So what I'll do is, keeping that syntax in mind, let me create the procedure with some additional options. Yeah, so here, see the change here. Create procedure, create procedure. I'll give the procedure name as something. You can give any name. What is the table name? Sales underscore data. Na? TT underscore sales underscore data. Table name is sales underscore data. Okay, so let me give the procedure name as something calculate, because I'm going to do some calculation. Calculate what? Sales data, some meaningful name. Then what is the requirement? I need to return, I need to return the result set. I need to return the result set, which should contain how many columns? 11 columns. These 11 columns are available in our table type now. So since I want to return, I need to take what? Output parameter. So I'll say out itab. Then here I'll say out itab tt underscore. What is the table type name? The table type name is what? TT underscore what? Sales data. So why I'm referring to that particular table type? Because I need to return the result set, which should contain the structure similar to what? Table type. Done. Then we have some options here like language, SQL security, default schema. Let us not get into this thing. We'll understand this later on. I'll be using this option. What is that? Reads SQL data, reads SQL data. Done. With the result view, with the result view, with the result view, view name, with the result view, view name. I'll give the view name as something analyze underscore sales, analyze underscore sales. Then as begin and what end. So let us understand what is the meaning of this reads SQL data. Okay. So if you observe here, as part of creating the procedure, I'm using an addition called as reads SQL data. So indicates this addition indicates that we are indicating the HANA database that we are not going to perform any data manipulations. Okay, reads SQL data means we are telling that we are not going to perform any data manipulations, like we are not going to use any insert, we are not going to use any delete, we are not going to use any update statements. We are only going to use what? Select statement. So that, so what is the advantage of specifying this? So that the processor will skip some privilege checks on the procedure, which should improve the performance. I repeat once again. So far, we are not using the addition what? Reads SQL data. So even if you don't use also, it is working fine. Means what is the understanding? This addition is what? Optional. I may or may not use. So far, if you are not using means, what happens internally is, whenever we are executing the procedure, it will perform some checks. It will do some checks internally. It will check some privilege checks, some authority checks. So that checking is a time consuming process. So what I am doing now, I am using an addition called as what? Reads SQL data. So when we are going to use this, when we are not going to use any insert, update, delete statement in your procedure, only when you are going to write the logic for retrieving the data, if you are not going to use any data manipulation statements, at that time we can use addition what? Reads SQL data. Means we are telling the HANA database, saying that we are not going to do any data manipulations. Means we are not going to use any insert, delete, update. So what is the advantage of specifying this? It will skip. It will skip some privilege checks in the procedure. So if it is skipping some checks here, the execution of the procedure would be what? Slightly what? Faster. The performance will be what? Improved. Am I clear to everyone? Reads SQL data means we are instructing the HANA database that we are going to use only select statement in the procedure body. We are not going to use other data manipulation statement. So the advantage of specifying this is, it is going to skip some checks. When it will skip some checks, the execution speed of the procedure will be what? Faster. So to improve the performance, I can use this particular addition. Hope it's clear to everyone. And I said what? With the result view. Na? So what is the meaning of this with the result view? Means whenever we execute the procedure, okay, whenever we execute the procedure, what happens is, it will return, we are returning some table type as output parameter. Na? Okay. So when we activate the procedure, means when I execute the procedure, it will create some column view. It will create some column view which will hold this particular data. Means somewhere here you can observe, yeah, you can see here, yeah, you can see there is a column view here. As of now in our schema, if I expand this column views, I don't have any column views. So there is a difference between normal views and this column views. So this column view is generally used in business objects, BO, for reporting purpose. Okay, so the BO consultant will make use of this particular column view. So when I say with the result view, so and so, what happens is, what are the output parameter we are returning, what are the table type we are returning as output parameter, okay, that data would be captured, will be captured in a column view. Means whenever we execute the procedure, along with the procedure creation, it will create what? A column view, which is going to hold this particular data, which is going to hold this particular data. And this column view will be used in what? BO, for reporting purpose. We are not going to use this column view in our database. It is used in what? BO, but it should be created from what? On our database level only. So you'll understand that as of now we don't have any column view. So let me write the procedure logic here. Actually, you can visualize this similar to, if you know Oracle. In Oracle, we have a concept called as materialized view. Materialized view. So this column view, you can understand similar to what? Materialized view. Okay. Yeah, may I know who is this logged in by name Srini?
Hi, Sridhar. This is Srinivas Bane, just referred by Sudhakar.
Acha, acha. Okay, okay. Fine,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Srinivas. Yeah, fine. Right. So with result view, analyze underscore what? Sales. Done. So let me write the actual procedure logic. So what is the agenda here? When I call this procedure, it should return me the table type, which is having what? Some 11 columns. So I'll directly say what is the return parameter? I tab is equal to select. I need to return in the same sequence. Okay, so I tab equal to select. What is the first thing I need to return? Order ID. So order ID I'll take as it is. Then what else I want? I want the customer name. What is that customer name? I said what is the formula for that? It should be concatenation of my customer first name and what last name. As part of our database table, we have two columns: customer first name and customer last name. So when I return the data, the concatenation of these two should be written as what? Customer name. That's why in the table type I created one column by referring to what? Customer name. So I need to concatenate. So if you take a normal ABAP context, we have one string function called as concatenate. Concatenate. Here, select order ID. Select order ID. I'll give something concat. There in our ABAP we have concatenate. Here simply what? Concat. What are the parameters for this? Customer name, sorry, customer first name, comma, customer last name. Okay, customer first name, comma, customer last name as what is the column name in my table type? Customer name. So the names should be same. Names should be same. Customer name. So this is my calculation here. Okay, concat customer first name and customer as customer name. Done. Then I want the what? Order date. So I want to return it in the date format. I want to return that in the date format. So I'll just use a function called as a two underscore date. What is the parameter for this? Again, it is order date. Okay, so what is the format we are storing in the table? What is the format I stored? Year, month, and what? Date. Year, month, and date. So whatever the source format is there, that I need to mention here. So I'll say two underscore date, order date, comma. What is the format I'm following? Year, month, and what? Date. So what this function will do, it will convert the given date value stored in string format. It will convert the given date value stored in string format as what? Date. So to order date as what? What is the column name in your table type? Order data. So as order date. Done. What else? I want the month number. I want the month number. So in HANA database, we have one date function called as month. Month of, yeah, again month will take the date as an input. So again I have to use this function to date. Yeah, I can just copy it. Okay, to date, order date, comma, year, month, date. Done. Close the parenthesis. As what is the column name in your table type? Month number. So I'll take what? As month number. Done. What else? I want month description. So we have a function called as month name. This will return me the month number, and this will return me the month name. Month name of, again this will take the same thing. It will take the date. So I'll just copy this. Done. As what is the column name here? Month description. So here the column name should match, otherwise you'll get what? Syntax error. Then month description is over. Month description. Then what I want? Quarter number. Quarter number. Again, we have a function called as quarter. quarter of, again it takes a date as input. So let me take this quarter as, what is the column name here? I should give quarter number. Quarter number. I need to maintain the same column names because here my return parameter, output parameter is of type what? Table type. And in the table type, this is the sequence of the columns and these are the column names. Quarter number is over. Next what? What I want? Year. Year, na? Year number I want. So I have a function called as year. Again, it also takes the same thing as, what is the column name? Year num. Done. Then I want what? Week number. So I'll take week of to date of order date, same thing as, what is the column name? Week number. As week number. Done. What else? Price. Yeah, price I want it as it is. So I'll take price. What else I want? Quantity I want. Okay, here quantity and then amount. So quantity I'll return as it is. Done. Then I want one additional column, what? Amount. What is the formula? I said price into quantity should be your amount. So here I'll say price, price into what? Quantity, price into quantity as what? Amount. As amount. Done. From what is my base table name here? Base database table name, sales underscore data. So I need to retrieve the data from that particular table. So I'll say as, sorry, from, what is the table name? Sales underscore data. Sales underscore data. Let me cross check. End purpose is what? End. Done. One second. Let me cross check here. Order ID and customer name, order date, month description, quarter number, year number, week number, and price and quantity, and then what? Amount. Done. So while creating this procedure, I used an addition what? With the result view. Okay. So what happens here, whenever the procedure is created, it will also create a column view with the name what? Analyze underscore sales. Analyze underscore sales. And this column view is used in what? BO for reporting purpose. Okay. So let me check. So as of now, you can see if I refresh this column view, I don't have any column view in my schema. Now let me try to create this particular procedure. Done. I'll say effect. I got an error. What is error I got? Good. Invalid column name. Invalid column name quantity. Good. You can see here. I got there in the 16th line of my procedure. So if you count the number of lines here, okay, starting from 52, this is the 16th line. Okay, error is what? In the column name. It is saying that invalid column name. I don't have any column with this name. So let me give the proper name. Let me try to re-execute. Fetch. Yeah. The procedure is what? Created. Okay, the procedure is created. Done. Let me cross check the procedure here. When I refresh, yeah, the procedure got created. What is the procedure name here? See, calculate sales data. And along with the procedure, what gets created? Column view. Na? So if you see here, if I refresh this, I'll refresh. Done. Okay, so the column view also got created. Now I want to view the data in this column view. How do I view the data in the column view? I'll right click on this, right click on the column view. Okay, so I'll say open content. Right click on the column view, say open content. Done. So I got the data here. So you can see here, I got the order ID as it is. Customer name, you can see it is a concatenation of what? Customer first name and what? Last name. Then I got the order date. Then I got the month number. You can see January month is what? 1, 2, 3, good, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. working fine. This is month name description, and this is quarter. What is that I gave? 2009 January 2. What is the quarter number I got? 1. Done. Yeah, you can see January falls under which quarter? Quarter 1. Year number I got week number. Week number. So I got 1 year. This is January 2nd. Na? So week number, then week number 7. Yeah, working fine. Then I got the price and what? Quantity and then amount. Amount is what? It's a product of price into what? Quantity. Yes, I got that also. Working fine. Everything is what? Fine. So this is my data from what? My column view. This column view will be used in what? BO for reporting purpose. Now let me try to call that procedure. We'll try to call the procedure here. I'll say call calculate sales data. Sorry, calculate sales data. Done. When I try to call this now, it should give an error because we are not binding the output parameters. So when I say F8, yeah, I got an error. Wrong number or types of parameters in the call. I type is what? Not bound. So I need to compulsory bind all the parameters. So I'll also call sales data. How do you bound the output parameter? By using the placeholder. So I'm just using the placeholder F8. I got some same result I got. Whatever is there in my what column view. Okay, so what we are trying to understand is in what cases you'll go for table type means you'll go for table type in this kind of cases. As part of your procedures, you might want to return some result sets which has got your own structure. Instead of your database structure, my actual database contains only some 6 columns, but my result set, whatever the result set I'm returning, it should contain some 11 columns. So what we will do, before creating the procedure, you'll create the table type with the required structure. You'll create the table type either using UI or by using SQL console. We'll create it and then refer to that particular table type as part of your procedure parameters definition. And we try to understand the meaning of what reads SQL data. Even if I don't use this also, procedure will be created, everything will work. But if I don't use read SQL data, internally what happens, it will perform some privilege checks. So as a developer, I am sure that I am not going to use any what DML statements. I'm inside my procedure body. I'm using only select statement only for fetching the data, not for manipulating the data. So unnecessarily, why I should perform privilege checks? So in order to improve the performance of my procedure execution, I have used addition what read SQL data. Hope it's clear to everyone. Any questions? Please ask me.
Is it OpenSQL or native SQL? This one create procedure thing.
This is native SQL specific to
Native.
HANA database.
Uh,
Specific to HANA database.
Specific to HANA network.
Okay, as of now we are creating the procedure in the SQL console, but generally we don't create in the SQL console. We'll create it in some other way so that I can consume it from the ABAP layer. As of now we are creating the procedure as well as calling the procedure from the SQL console only, but the agenda should be what I should be able to call it from ABAP layer. So in the next 1 or 2 days we
Oh,
will see how to create the procedure inside a package. Inside a package.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other doubts, others?
Uh, Sridhar, can you scroll up one time, please?
1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a table I created. This is a data, and this is a table type.
Table type. Yeah. Sales data is the table, correct? Create
Yeah,
column table.
it's a database table, and this is a table type.
Table type means you are giving attributes, the data type, length, everything.
Yes, my actual table contains only 6 columns,
Six.
but from my procedure, I want to return 11 columns. Okay, with some calculations. That is the reason I created one user-defined table type with the required columns, and I am referring to the table type as part of my procedure parameters.
Okay.
Done?
Okay. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, others, any doubts? So we have other additions related to the procedures. This will be discussed in the coming sessions. Okay, not required at this stage. Done. Now, based on this only, any doubts before I continue? Others? Okay, so fine. So what is next requirement is, yeah, when I create this procedure, what is happening? The column view is also getting what created. How do you preview the data from the column view? What I did here, I went to what? 1 second. Yeah, I went to this column view section. I right clicked on that and I said what open content. I got the data from my column view. Now what I want is one small change I want. I want to what generate the column view with some parameter, with some input parameter. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll use the same table. What is the table? Sales underscore data is the table I'll use, and I'll use the same what table type, same database table, and same table type values. But the only change is I want to create the procedure which should return the what result set, which should return the result set referring to this particular database table, and it should contain some input parameter. So what I'll do is, yeah, let me quickly create a procedure. Create procedure. Okay, what should I give? Yeah, create procedure. I'll give some meaningful procedure name, parameter underscore what column view, some procedure name, create procedure parameter underscore column view. What is the agenda here? I should pass one input parameter. So I'll take some date. Okay, v underscore o date. I'll give it as date. Okay, and then I'll take the output parameter out I tab. I'll directly refer to my database table. What is my database table? Sales underscore data. Sales underscore data. Remember, in the earlier procedure, my output parameter is referring to the table type. My table type is having what 11 columns. That's why when I'm returning also, when I'm selecting also, I should ensure that I'm returning what I'm retrieving what 11 columns, because my output parameter is referring to what table type which contains 11 columns. Now my output parameter is referring to the database table, and my database table contains only what 6 columns: order id, first name, last name, date, price, and quantity. So keep that in mind. Then I'll say, as usual, just to improve the performance, I'll say reads SQL data with what? Result view, with the result view, with result view. You can give any column name. I'll give the column view name as orders underscore list. Any name, orders underscore list. Done. As begin. So here my output parameter is referring to my database table. So I don't require any calculation. Directly I can fetch the data from that. So I'll say itab is equal to what? Select star from what is my base table? Sales underscore what data. Select star from sales underscore data. I want to make use of this input parameter where where my table contains any date column. Yeah, it contains one date column, order date. So I'll say where what order date is greater than or equal to what is my input parameter name? V underscore o date. Done. End. Okay, so let me cross check. Input parameters of type date, output parameters of type database table with the result is also done. Okay, so before I execute that, If you observe my column view, I don't have any column view with the name what? Orders underscore list. So let me check it. Let me try to create this procedure. I'll say effect. The procedure got created. The procedure got created. Okay. So if I refresh, done. Okay. Now you can see the change is earlier also we had one column view. Now also we have a column view. In the earlier column view, okay, I'll right click on this. I'll say open content. I'm able to preview the data. I'm able to preview the data. Done. Similarly now, okay, I'll right click on this column view which got created just now. I'll try to preview the what? I'll try to preview the data. So when I try to preview the data, what happens is at the background, it will try to execute the procedure. It will try to execute the procedure. But your procedure is created with some input parameter. No? So it is expecting the value for that input parameter. So my expectation is if I try to preview the data, I should get an error. Let me check. I'll say open content. And now, yeah, good. Yeah, you can see at the background, I didn't got any data. Remember, I didn't got any data, but you can see it is giving some error. Could not execute select star from so and so, so and so. Column storage, search table, instantiation of calculation model file, undefined variable dollar dollar v underscore o date dollar dollar. Variable is marked as required. Variable is marked as required, but not set in the query. Good. So the understanding is whenever I'm trying to preview the data from this column view at the background, it is trying to call the procedure. But your procedure is having one what? Input parameter. Na? So if you're having an input parameter, you must pass a value for that input parameter. Na? So in this case, I cannot pass. In this, when I'm doing it by using right click and try to preview, I cannot pass the value. So somehow I should able to preview the data from my column view also. So the change I have to do is, so see the error once again. Where is the error? It is saying that undefined variable dollar 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 v underscore o date dollar dollar. That is the name of the input parameter. So see this. How do you preview the data from the column view, which is expecting the which is having the input parameters? Select star from what is the column view name? Orders underscore list. Select select star from orders underscore list. Done. Then here I have to use something called as placeholder dot. Here you have to say dollar 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 v and what is the input parameter name? V underscore o date dollar dollar. Okay, implies I need to associate some value. So okay. If you see the table, where is the table was? Let me refresh this. Yeah, this is a table where you are querying the data. So when I open the data from this, yeah, this is the data available. So what I will do is I'll try to give the data as I will give the data as 1st January 2011. So it should return me all the orders which are greater than what? 1st January 2011. So I'll say here what? 2011 hyphen what? 01 hyphen 01. Done. So this is the way to what? Query the data from the column view which is expecting what? Input parameter. So how do you do it? Select star from orders underscore list. What is this orders underscore list? It is a column view which got created, and this column view at the background, it will try to execute the procedure which is having one input parameter. Na? So we are supplying the value for that input parameter. What is the name of the input parameter? V underscore o date. So how do you provide the data? Place, this is a syntax we have to follow. placeholder dot dollar v underscore o date dollar implies done. Okay. Yeah, let me try to execute, but still I think I'll get an error. Simple, and before I execute, if I go back to this, what is the error I got here? Undefined variable dollar v underscore o date. This v underscore o date here, it is showing it in lowercase. It is showing this v underscore o date in lowercase. But when I'm passing here, I'm trying to pass in uppercase. So I think I should get an error, because in the column view, the parameter name is always what referred in what lowercase only. Let me check. When I say F8, what happened? Yeah, it is executing. Good. I got an error. See, undefined variable dollar v underscore date. Variable is marked as required but not set in the query. So the issue here is this input parameter name. This should be referred in lowercase only, especially in the column view. Because in column view, the parameters are always referred in lowercase. Select star from orders underscore list placeholder. What is the adjustment I have to do? Let me try to provide this in lowercase. V underscore what? Audit. V underscore audit. Done. Dollar. Done. Let me execute now. F8. Good. I got how many records? 5 records. I got those orders whose order date is what? Greater than January 1st, 2011. The actual table contains 7 records. So it is ignoring these 2 records, 2009 and 2010. Order ID is 1 and 2, it is ignoring. I got the rest of the 5 records. I didn't got the order ID 1 and 2. I got the other orders. Understood? So when I'm trying to uh, query the data from here, at the background you try to call the procedure which is expecting what? Input parameter value. So how do we query the data from the column view which is having the input parameters? This is the only way. Select star from, manually only I can do it. Select star from column view, placeholder dot. We have to enclose that input parameter inside this double quotes. We have to prefix and suffix with the dollar symbol and provide the appropriate value. Okay, let me try to call the procedure. Okay, I'll try to call the procedure. What is the procedure name? Parameter underscore column view. Call parameter underscore column view. Parameter underscore column view. I'll give some date. What is the signature of the procedure? One input parameter and one output parameter. So I'll directly give the values 2013 0101 followed by what? This placeholder. That's all. When I execute this, yeah, I got what? The orders which are greater than what? Some 2013. I got 3 orders. Hope it's clear to everyone. So this is the general purpose server table type, to refer them as what? Procedure parameters. Any questions?
So, what is the purpose for this column view? It's a similar like a report data, or this column view can use as in
Yeah,
a report also.
not in this ANA database. Here I can use it. See, I'm trying to use select star. I can use it, but the main purpose of column view is this. I can use it in what? A BO tool, business
BOT.
objects, BO tool. So as an ABAP ANA consultant, we are only responsible for what? Generating this column view. Okay, it will be used by the BO consultant for reporting purpose.
Yeah.
Our job is only to generate it with the required structure.
Oh, just only structure and data. That's it.
Yes, that's it.
Only structure, or they include data also.
Yeah, include data also. It will be consumed in the BO reporting.
BO. So BO consultant can
Correct.
use their
Yes.
data and generate report.
Yes.
Okay.
They can use this particular BO for report, this column view for reporting purpose, where they can analyze the data.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Others. Done. So I'll stop now. Tomorrow what we'll do is we'll try to create the procedure in a different place, so that, or in a different way, so that we can consume it from what? ABAP layer. Okay, so that part we'll discuss tomorrow. Done? Sharadan. So I'm disconnecting. We'll continue tomorrow.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks everyone. So,
Thank you.